Hello there. Hi, y'all. How y'all doing today? So today I want to share with you something that someone shared with me well, at least with the group that I'm in. And I was very excited to see it, because I harp like time and time again about how, security professionals and blue teamers don't have the same amount or the same attention and rigor put into what we do as red teamers do, which is weird because we're on the same team. We're on the same team. So I want to show that to you, and I also want to address a LinkedIn article that I commented on, and I said in my comment that I was going to come on here to address it. And this is so bright. And what you all can count on, okay, when I come here for something, is for me to address it, okay? So, okay, here's LinkedIn. Let me find this so I can just pull it up when I want to talk about it. Where is it? All that noise. Where is it? Y'all hold on a second. Y'all gotta be finding this stuff. Okay. And so a couple people commented on it. Professor Black Ops, you commented on it as well. But let me show you this this free blue team CTF stuff first, okay? Because that's what I have in the title. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Share my screen. There it is. Okay. These are they. Oh, I got the wrong banner up here. Blue Team CTF Challenges. Now, this is from Tia from Empower Cybersecurity. She shared this with the group today. Blue Team CTF Challenges. All of these are free. So this is from cyberdefenders.org. They seem pretty new. Okay, and I follow at least one of these people on LinkedIn, one of the founders of this. So here they are. Okay, you just click on it, and it's the same as you would find in many other CTFs. Okay, you can download it. They have the questions, the format for you to enter the questions or enter the flags. When you find the flags. But one thing that we have many, I don't even know if they are CTF, but they're more OSINT type things, right? In the RMF Linux thing, because it's for people who do risk management framework type things, and they don't do this kind of stuff, all the time, at least not the way that red teamers and some blue teamers do. But when it comes to finding the flag, one thing that I say in the course is there's two things that you gotta do here. Okay, you find the result and you find the flag. Okay, the flag is the same for everybody. Everybody gonna get the same flag. Okay, however, the way you get there could and many times should be different. All right, because what we're trying to do here is not pull this up, find somebody else who did it and follow what they did step by step. What the hell is that shit? I mean, what is that? That's just showing you know how to follow directions. Okay, that's not what we're trying to build here. We're not trying to build skill and stuff in following things step by step. You know what I'm saying? No. So and you can, what do you call those things where they give you oh, hi Diamond, how are you? From Connecticut, yay. I forget what they call those things. When you do the Vaughn hubs, and you find the people who've done it before. What the hell is that called? I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about though, where they tell you everything that they did to get it. Okay. Don't do that. You know, if you need some help, that's fine. But the idea here is not about, the flag is the same for everybody. Okay. It's almost like, so one of the examples I have in there, I wonder if I can show it. Can I show it? I'm gonna do that right now. But one of the examples I have in there, right, is if I ask you, okay, how many ways can you get to the number 4? And you find one of those Vuln Hub answer sheets. Hey, Professor Black Ops, so glad to see you. Those Vuln Hub answer sheets, whatever the hell you, walkthrough, that's it. They're called walkthroughs. That's what you call them. And the walkthrough you find says, okay, the way you get to 4 is you add 2 plus 2. Okay, so everybody's doing that. Everybody's doing, you know, I'm super simplifying it right here, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Everybody's doing 2 plus 2. Okay, we got the flag. The flag is 4. Got it. Let's go. Next one. Okay. Now they show you, and it tells you exactly how to get there. Okay, flag, got the flag, got it. Let's go. Next one. Like, what the hell is that? Okay. First of all, y'all know good and well, to get to the number 4, there are, I mean, you can't even count them. Okay. The ways that you can get to 4. You know what I'm saying? 1 plus 3, 8 minus 4, you know, 10 minus 6. Then you throw fractions and decimals and geometry and all this all up in there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. The flag is going to be the same. The point is not the flag. How did you get it? What new way did you find to get it? You know what I mean? I mean, use the walkthroughs if you feel that's something you need to do, but don't depend on that stuff. And don't keep using it, feel like you stuck. There is nothing else you can do. You don't know. I mean, you just sitting there just looking around because the walkthrough didn't tell you how to get to this next thing. You know, that's nuts. Am I the only one who thinks that's nuts? That's nuts to me, you know, because we're trying to develop critical thinking, evaluative thinking, like really, really trying to exercise, okay, this kind of thinking, all right? And you're not going to do that following walkthroughs. You just, I don't care. You're not going to get there following walkthroughs. You're just not. Now, I don't know, these look pretty recent. Look at the dates and stuff, okay? I mean, I'm sure there are walkthroughs out there for this, but you know, and if you can't get to it like right away, that's okay. Like, what's the rush? You know, what's the rush? These look really, really interesting. I'm definitely gonna do some of these and also add a few of them to the stuff that I'm doing for RMF. Yeah, they look like they took a lot of time and they worked pretty hard on this. Now they have training too. Oh, they had an escape room pack analysis. That sounds fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. The HoneyNet project author. Oh, the HoneyNet project. They have awesome stuff on that website too. This is really good stuff, y'all. Look at this. What was the tool the attacker possibly used to perform this attack? How many failed attempts were there? What credentials were used to gain access? Refer to shadow.log and sudoers. Did I say that? Sudoers.log. Okay, good. This is good. All right, so that's it, y'all. It's cyberdefenders.org /labs. Okay, and if you go here to just the home page, you know, they give you more information about it. And if you go all the way down, they have like a FAQ. Okay, what is cyber defenders? What are challenges? And these people right here, the individuals who came up with this, they, you know, like many of us, have recognized. Hey, Maddox, how you doing? They've recognized that, like you're just saying, Maddox, we do need more blue team stuff. You know, for a security profession, you would think we would have that already, you know, and not be rooting around, you know, trying to bolt stuff together like Frankenstein that you find here, there, and everywhere, you know. So I'm happy that they've gone ahead and done that. Okay, but this is really good. It's really good. So if y'all didn't know about this, now you do, and let other people know, okay, that this is out here. And apparently, oh look, Professor Black Ops, they have instruction for some of this stuff. Challenges are free to play. Some training courses are free and some are paid. Okay. All right. There you go. Cyberdefenders.org. Now, I want to talk about what old girl had to say on LinkedIn. Professor Black Ops, I'm about to read your comment right now. So somebody just pinged me on LinkedIn and asked me, they're going for their CAP exam and they want access to my mural, which I'm going to give them so that they can go in and see all the material that I use to study. But when people ask me that, so this is Bruce. Dr. Phillips and I are working with him on because he does a lot of RMF CAP stuff. He's like, I swear, when you Google stuff about RMF and CAP exam and everything, he's like one of the only people that come up for that. You know, I don't know why the CAP is not as popular as like CISSP and all that stuff. You know, it should be. Why don't people know more about RMF? Especially if you're in an organization, that's a federal organization at that, okay? There's no reason in the world why federal people working in cyber would not be familiar with risk management framework. Because when you go in that organization, what the hell you think you're doing in the SOC? You know, what do you think you're doing? You know, 99% of it has to do with this kind of stuff, okay? I think RMF is very sexy, you know, and like I said, we have to, you say you was triggered, Professor Black. Oh, I'm gonna read your comment in a second. Yeah, so we for whatever reason, we don't know as much of this as we need to. And I think part of it is because you say it's not sexy, but it's got to get sexy. Okay. If you on an island with a woman, okay, and she the only one there, you know what I'm saying? She gonna start to look pretty sexy to you. You know what I'm saying? If you know, when all them things start happening, right? Okay. RMF is like that woman, that one man, or you know, whatever your preference is, on this island, and your human functions, you know, start to fire. Okay, what you gonna do? You got a woman, you got RMF, or you got a tree? Like what you gonna do? You're gonna go to the RMF. Okay, that's the way it is. She's sexy, he's sexy. Okay, this is what we have. This is what they use. Where else you gonna go? All right. I don't care what your title is, cyber analyst, cyber policy, cyber whatever, it don't matter. Red team, blue team, purple team, whoever. If you're in a federal organization and you don't know nothing about this, you're gonna be done. Okay, you're gonna be looking around the room trying to figure out what's going on, you know, but you got to know about this. Okay, so CAP exam should be way more popular than it is right now. But like I was saying, Bruce is one of the only people out there who's really doing some good stuff. Now there is CAP stuff out there. I told y'all I went to, what is it called? InfoSec something, I think. These people charge like almost $3,000 for a 1-week boot camp. Okay, that boot camp was garbage. Oh, it was garbage. It was garbage, right? It was nothing like when I went to boot camp in the Army. All I did was sit there and, you know, for the CAP boot camp, and listen to a guy who clearly knew a lot about it. Like he knew a lot. All right. But him knowing a lot and him telling me what he knew was not training me to do anything. Okay. So it was garbage. It was not worth almost $3,000. That's for daggone sure. Okay. Now Bruce has a lot of free stuff, Plus the stuff that you do pay for is super affordable, and it's great. Like it's really, really good. It's really good. So so that's why I had this up here. All right, let me see. Now this is this lady right here, Naomi Buckwalter. You know, I follow her. Do you follow people on LinkedIn? Is that what you call it? Or connect with her? Whatever the hell they do on LinkedIn. So I see a lot of her stuff, okay? And you know, a lot of the stuff she says, you know, for real, she be giving me my life, like she really does. It gives me life because I'm like, finally, somebody is stating the obvious here, okay? Now here, what she's asking essentially is, do cybersecurity professionals depend on cyber criminals? You know, like do it, and if we do, and it seems like we do, you know, then we are actually like, we don't want cybercrime to go away. We don't want go away for what? Then what you gonna do? You know, we don't want it to go away. She's saying we're not working as hard as we could work to eradicate it because we depend on it, you know. It's like this anytime you have a war on something, okay, that's an indication that, okay, we got a whole bunch of politics going on behind the scenes. Okay, a war on something is trying to tell the public, oh, we hate this thing, we want to eradicate it, when in reality, you all in for it. You are there for all of it because you are benefiting from it. War on drugs. Huh? Did y'all hear what I said? Because you're benefiting from it. E.g., war on drugs. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. Now let's see here. Now what I said, hold on, let me see what the comments are. Professor Blackhouse, is it okay if I show you? I can show this, right? Because everybody see it in public anyway. No companies connected to internet, very little cybercrime, bank robbers got federal charges. Okay. And who is this? Craig Herter? What does he say? So I agree completely. Which came first, chicken or the egg? I've long wondered whether we're creating our own ecosystem, playing a game of one-upmanship. Okay. I'm going to, because y'all know I got something to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if I could find the damn thing. Hold on, let me stop sharing real quick. I am going to give some commentary on this. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in case anybody wants to come up. You say show your government name, huh? If you want to come up, Professor Blackops, or anybody else to give to talk about this, that would be fine. So what I said regarding this, do we as cyber professionals depend on cybercrime? Okay, and therefore, do we hold back, okay, when it comes to really trying to eradicate it? And I don't mean just us as cyber professionals, I mean the whole, from the legislation to the vendors to CompTIA to people who sell firewall, all that, okay? You have a whole industry around this criminal activity on the internet, okay? And hey, Professor Black Ops.
I'm so triggered, I gotta get up in here. That lady treated me so bad, I don't know.
Really? She does that to a lot of people. She does.
She triggered me. I was so insulted. Let's go read it so I can calm down. So bring it up and read it. I am so triggered.
Okay, well, okay, so the way I saw it, right? So what I said immediately, the thing that stood out for me, it was the question itself, okay? And I feel that asking the question, does cybersecurity depend on cybercrime? I feel like you're only asking that question if you have a very limited, narrow view of what security is. And for example, I said that's like saying, does the medical profession depend on fast food industries? You know, that question is nuts. Why? Because we understand that medicine and the medical profession is so, I mean, it covers so much more than that. You know, when you get into, you know, emotional health, mental health, all that stuff, things that have nothing to do with what you eat, you know, those kinds of diseases, you know, natural stuff like what you call it when the mosquitoes bite you, you know, malaria, you know, I mean, there's so much to it, you know, that to ask that question, it doesn't even make sense to us, you know. But because we actually do have such a narrow view of security, you know, even whether it's physical security or cyber security, it's all in this world, okay? It's all here. So security is like health in that there's many aspects to it. So that was my first bone to pick with her, you know, with this one. However, Professor Black Ops, I do see where she's coming from, though.
No.
But I
vehemently disagree.
Okay. Let's hear it. I want to hear it. Let's hear it.
Well, bring it up. Bring it up and read it. Bring up the
okay. Here we go.
Bring it up. So let's set the stage for
it
before I go on this tirade.
All right. So we can see. You're right. Okay, here we go. All right, where's she at? There it is. Okay, so she says up here, and I was pretty.
Her diatribe.
So she says it's going to be controversial, like because she knows, right? But it needs to be said. Maybe the reason we're not winning the war against cybercrime is because we need it to exist. Think about it. Our job as professionals depend on crime existing. Okay. Cybersecurity has a symbiotic relationship with cybercrime, right? It's kind of like what do you call that? A host and a parasite kind of thing. Without cybercrime, there would be no Professor Black Ops. Okay, is basically what she's saying. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the criminals. Okay, maybe we're not fighting as hard as we can because doing so would mean you wouldn't have a job. We wouldn't be in this profession in the first place.
That set me off to a level 10, but keep going. I was on 10 when I read that.
Okay. She said, but here's where the real controversy lies. Shouldn't we be fighting as hard as we can to get rid of cybercrime? It's like eradicating a disease like smallpox, okay? But before killing all these people throughout the course of history, cybercrime isn't killing millions of people, she says. But what if it has that potential? Shouldn't we be throwing everything at it in order to stop it? Even if it kills one person, isn't that enough reason to fight as hard as we can to win against it? And then she brings in your mama and your daddy, okay, and your friends. What if they died because of something that a cyber criminal did? You know, what if it was your child who died? And what if it was you? She wants to live in a world where cybercrime is negligible. Okay. Professor Black Ops, how can you be mad at that now? Come on now.
That's some whimsy pansy. The world is wants some. Are you done? I thought it was a little more than
that's it. Even if it means losing your job, she says, wouldn't you want to eradicate something that caused so much harm?
The two things, I guess. Did she talk about crime in there a little bit? I thought there was a crime. Did she talk about crime, or was that somebody probably responded in there talking about crime? Yeah. I think it was a little dude in there, a little dude, I think.
That right here.
Yeah, read that real quick. I think that sent me to 10 too.
Yeah, she said, such a salient post. I agree completely. Which came first, chicken or egg? I've long wondered whether we were creating our own ecosystem, playing a game of one-upmanship.
Read mine.
Okay. Cybersecurity was a response to cybercrime.
Yeah.
I started programming in '84. Systems were not interconnected much except for the mainframe. Internet was just getting figured out. No companies or monies connected to it, the internet. Very little cybercrime. Bank robbers got federal charges and time. Fast forward, same system connected to the internet. You can still get $10 million from your basement with ease.
Right.
Early internet crimes were decided to be white-collar crimes with very little jail time.
Right.
Big dollar cybercrime needed cybersecurity professionals. Money is low-hanging fruit for nation states.
So let me start. Number one is when she said, are we chasing cyber criminals? When there was no companies on the internet, there was very little cyber crime, so there was no money. Cybercrime came when they started doing big money. So that is so easy to figure out. So her diatribes, to me, she didn't think of it at all. You do a little history. Before there was money on the internet, there was no cybercrime. When the money came, there was crime. And if you look in the 80s, dudes were selling 4 crack rocks, was getting 25 years. I could steal $100 million from, and that was a white collar crime. They was giving them dudes 5 years. I was on another podcast. That was like, Professor Black Ops, she should have told us in the 80s. We could have been getting the real money. So that's my thing. She's in this liberal white tower stuff. So that's simple. There was no cyber crime when there was no money. So when the money came, the crime came. So that little argument she said, I guess, that triggered me. Then the other part of that triggered me is money's not infinite. The United States doesn't have infinite money. We spread that money out. So as cybercrime starts getting more, when they attack the water and attack the oil, now we about to spend some money. Joe Biden put cybercrime and zero trust in his executive order. Now it's going to get our attentions because it's at that level. She's a cybersecurity person. We just described risk. The risk is a lot higher now because we can get poisoned. I just did a YouTube video where they actually attacked one of the nuclear contractors.
I saw that.
So now it's getting so her high level thinking. That's just basic risk. So she's on this diatribe talking about save the world and crime. I'm like, would you shut the hell up, lady? I'm like, let me quit. I said my girl cyber checked her, so I'm not gonna get vicious in the box. I'm like, dude, just you making it too difficult. I think people sit out there and pontificate. I just feel like she's like, oh, I don't have anything today. Me and my husband make $500,000, so I'm just gonna write some bullshit on LinkedIn. I'm like, would you come on? So that's how I felt. I was real. I don't know why I was triggered. I don't know if I had a bad day. I'm like, there was no money on the internet, no cyber criminals. When the money came, and all those systems were for convenience. There was no securities in the 80s, so they were just robbing. So her doing a basic research would have figured that out, but she's got all this lovely stuff. People love her. They following her. Her hair is blowing in the wind and she typing this bullshit up. I'm like, I'm done. So I'm like, let me give a little bit. Since my girl Cyber gave her a little love, I ain't going to attack her. I'm going to give her a little history from the brothers, from the mud. I tell people, I get this shit out the digital mud, and she's up in a high tower talking about, well, maybe it's a duality between the cyber criminals and the cyber specialists. This hypocrisy of the modern world. I'm like, really? Is that what you really tell? Then people love that shit. I'm like, really?
Yeah. So I mean, she got a lot of, when you go like to her original post,
that's why we're done. That's why we're done as a community. That's why we're done. That's too easy.
Yeah.
A little bit, but she wrote that shit like she was writing a novel. I'm gonna get 1 million hits. People love me. I'm this great person. I'm like, that was some bullshit. That was some. I almost said it.
You should have put that in the comments.
Nah, man, because you know how they treat the black man on LinkedIn. I got 10 more years to work. You probably see David Chappelle when keeping it real goes wrong. So I had to take a deep breath and compose my. Like I tell my young brothers, when you get triggered, take a deep breath, write it and read it a couple times. So I just a little jab. I'm like, basic history tell you all that is bullshit. I don't know why I was so triggered when I read it. I'm like, I don't know, because she gets all this love and now she's an intellectual. I'm like, that is some bullshit. That's my 2 cents on. I'll let you respond to my diatribe.
Well, I mean, from what I read, like some people are right there with you from the comments, because I read the comments.
Yeah, I went to her channel. I saw a couple people.
Yeah,
she was getting a lot of love for that bullshit, though. I'm like, let me take. I was gonna respond on hers. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna get doxxed. Let me go on cyber side. Cyber, I'm from the hood. I think people try to set a brother up. So I'm like, I'm gonna go on cyber. I'm gonna write a nice little retort. I ain't gonna get crazy with it. And just be like, history is just so. Before there was businesses with money on the net, there was very little cybercrime. When the money came, nobody thought of security. It was just easy. You could get $100 million from your bedroom. You break into a bank, you might get $20,000. You lucky. That's 25 years fan time. So that was I guess from the historical part of that. We on Juneteenth. I was trying to put a little history on it, but not been too crazy with it.
I get you.
So I still want my reparations on Juneteenth. Okay. But we're gonna leave that alone though. That's my 2 cents on that. So I want to write something not too crazy on your part when you post, but I don't know why that triggered me.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see how it could be.
And like I said, you went to her page. She gets so much love. I'm like, for this bullshit, really? Really? We throwing out loves and kudos, as Alpha said. We giving you your flowers for this stuff. We giving you flowers for it. Come on, man. Come on. That's why I got
So what about this? Let me ask you. Now, this is something that I don't know if we talked about or I commented on one. I think I commented on one of your videos about this, right? And that was when the Facebook stuff happened. Because so now when we talk about crime, okay, and we're talking about stealing something, it's not just directly money. Right, it is actually information, you know. So which we then use for other things. Some of it money, some of it some other stuff, blackmailing people, like whatever the case.
Well, real quick. Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn make $1 billion on just your information and selling to advertisers that you willfully give them. Right, so that information is powerful. I just don't think the millennials and the Z's care because they put everything on the net. They don't. Because in my class, I asked them because one of my students said the most powerful thing. I said, "You get an A for that." He goes, "If you're not buying a product or buying a service, you are the product."
Right.
So they don't care. They put their girlfriend on. They don't, because if you look, and you're gonna agree with me. You see young kids arguing on Facebook, telling personal shit. Young
kids, child.
Facts.
I have a 55-year-old auntie on there cussing out her husband and all that. So I mean,
I can hear my mama just passed away at 92, and I always heard her say, "If it's family shit, you better have it in this house, young man. Because if you embarrass our last name, we gonna have a problem, young man." But we don't care. You see people. Family shit just spilling out on there. Of course, my dumb ass out there with popcorn reading it.
Oh yeah, it's like reality TV, right?
So if they doing it like that, is their information valuable? Think about it. I can see your brain hurting.
Yeah. So now that you said that, right? I read this thing. It's called self-doxing. Okay. Have you heard of self-doxing?
I have, yes.
So I spill my tea, so now it ain't worth nothing to you, or at least not as much as it would have been had I been keeping a secret.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So there. Could it be seen as that, like the way we just putting stuff out there? Could that be seen as like what are you talking about? I'm the one who told you, that this was going on.
But I agree with that, but there's probably a couple things wrong with that. Is they don't know the value of their information, or they will be charging Facebook to sell their information to advertisers. Obviously valuable. And 2 is we don't respect each other in the community anymore. So we just put that shit out in public. Yeah.
I think it's like that. It's like when you have, it's kind of like the reality TV, when you have cameras on you, you forget that. Like it's because they're in the background.
It's not about that. Is we crave attention, and now men crave attention like women. That's my thing. Is everybody like validation? So I think people get validation of that. My likes are higher than yours. My love is I got more likes. I'm on the gram. I got more subscribers than you. That's the new currency.
It is. It's social influence.
Yeah,
right?
That's the new currency. I'm old. I'm trying to hide a little bit. Because when Cyber actually first linked his stuff for my interview, I freaked out. I was like, shit, I don't know if I wanted everybody to know that's me. But I'm like, fucking everybody else out here, if I'm going to do this, I might as well do it. Right. But I'm out here now. But so me, I'm old. I'm especially old black men. You didn't want people to know you make money because you felt society was going to come and take it. So you moved in silence. I'm trained by the OGs. You move inside us now. Dudes robbing banks and putting the shit on Facebook. You robbed the bank. You didn't have 10,000 yesterday, but you got $10,000 a day on Facebook. Homie, you're not that smart, but you want that validation and that adoration.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes. And now we have the perfect tool to help us, because we were doing it anyway. This just helps to, you know, exacerbate it and make it even broader.
But the beauty of it is, when I was on college, you know, I'm a short guy, wasn't very athletic, so I used to dress nice. So it's like, oh, you best dressed. Now I can just take a picture on the gram, the book, and Snapchat. I can get 1 million people to love me now. Just not the 100 people that's at college. Now I got 1 million people telling me I'm beautiful, I'm cute, I dress nice, my shoes are nice, I'm intellectual, I'm select.
Yeah, and the terrible thing about that, so we're kind of, is if you believe all that, then you have to believe the opposite. If tomorrow they said the opposite, you got to believe that shit. You know, and you have to live with that being the truth. Because if it was the truth when it was positive, it's got to be the truth when it's negative. I mean, how you know.
That's why you actually have people committing suicide over that.
I know.
That's the young people. So you definitely know they believe it's true.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Which is really you know, unfortunate. But yeah, so I just had to get that out there, and I've already talked about on here, you know, the way that we really need to widen our aperture when it comes to security, and the fact that you cannot impose that on somebody. Now, I'm very adamant about that. You know, security is a right. Okay, not just because the human rights people said it is. Okay, everyone has the freedom to be secure, meaning they have choices, and that's where we go wrong. Is we try to take choice away from people and impose stuff on them, just like the example I gave with health, you know, about what we eat and shopping and how we spend our own money and all that. Can you imagine? They trying to do that with the WIC people, you know, the ladies and the families who get WIC, you know, trying to tell them, you know, no, you can't buy lobster, you got to buy whatever they're saying, you know what I mean? So, but security is not going to work if we try to do that, you know, which is why I feel like human behavior is really something that we need to focus more on here if we're trying to change behavior, you know?
That's, you know, I always do Maslow pyramid. That's at the top of the pyramid, and we ain't nowhere close to that. We still trying to get the firewall.
So we can be. What'd you say? We trying to get the firewall.
Well, we still trying to get the firewall right, man. We try to get the zero trust right. We try to get the firewall on the Linux box right, man. You try to talk about human behavior.
I talked to a marketing person today. I mean, very knowledgeable. She just knows a whole bunch of stuff, right? And I'm going to talk to her more because I actually want to create some marketing materials for STIGs and RMF. Okay.
Yeah, I saw you talking about that. That's very interesting. That was very interesting to me. I'm kind of old school. I'm like, we just gonna keep hitting you with a bat till you get. We're gonna just keep hitting you with a bat. Like, so you a little higher up on the pyramid. We're gonna hit you with the bat. Then I used to tell my boss, I was dead serious. We need to fire one person a year. Everybody else gonna fall in line, big boss. Just fire one person. It'll trickle through the org. Everybody gonna pay attention, big boss. That's how we just need to get one person with the bat. Let's get one person with the bat. Everybody's gonna pay attention. Actually, it worked. We found security got one person. It was whispering through the organization, man. We had people calling up the security team. Can I click on this link? I'm like, yeah, you can click on that link. But like you said, it was from the back. We said people with the back. So
right. Yeah. I mean, and that, you know, it did. Okay. I mean, now the bat works sometimes. The bat does work, but can it be sustained though?
We got to hit somebody every year. We got to hit somebody every year. That's my fault. So you got me changing my mind a little bit. I'm like, we just need to get somebody every year, man.
Oh my goodness.
So, but that article, I don't know why that triggered me. because you my homie. So when you click on something, I peruse it, and I read it, and I read it twice, and I just got madder and madder.
Did you? Wow.
I don't know why. I see. To me, I'm a sci-fi. It's a Batman. It's a Batman puzzle. Batman, when he was younger, he's killing all the criminals and he's captured. But like you said, more criminals keeps coming back. So he's thinking, he's talking to his butler. He just says, "Am I creating these criminals because I'm Batman?" And the butler goes, "No, these guys are trying to steal the money. And they're coming out with better tools. They created you." So that's how I feel when she answered that question. I said, they were stealing all the money in the cyber. That created a cyber criminals. It's actually in reverse. But she said it in this way that she was getting out of adolescence. Maybe I was mad because I wasn't getting her likes. People wasn't loving me like her. Maybe I was just upset.
Maybe that's what it was because of Black Ops.
I read it. I was like, is she serious? Then I read her comments. I'm like, she's really believing this bullshit. Oh, I got to give her a little bit. I was like, let me take a deep breath, though. I'm gonna get on our page. I ain't gonna get on her page. But I don't know why that just set me off. I don't know why.
So, and I'm still with the super narrow view here, because so one of the things that I talked about in the Blacks in Cyber thing, I don't know if you were in that one, that conference they had online.
I'm not in there. I need to get in there more. Sometimes I kind of bump into them.
Dude,
I need to get in there more.
You got to get in there more. So one of the things I was talking about, right, is how one of the reasons why I say we're not at war is because it's just like how when we get storms, there are certain conditions that come together to create that thing, you know? And I feel like it's the same thing here. Just like you were saying, like there was no money. Like, what am I going to steal? You know, like for what? Now that there are conditions that are coming together to create this, you know, crime in cyberspace, you know, that's what it is. And we're actually part of that. Like we've emerged out of that as well, you know, because all the conditions have come to, you know.
No, right. But like you said, and you said it, but money really now is the least of it. You got nation states stealing plans for airplanes, nuclear bombs, nation states stealing intellectual property worth more than a little $10 million.
Oh man.
So people don't even realize. And two is Russia on a privacy game is they're playing with your emotions. They're putting stuff in Black Lives Matter to rev up the white people. Then they put shit in there about Donald Trump to rev up the black people. And they playing chess and we playing checkers. So it's not even about money and even nation states. They controlling elections, and we're not even smart enough at the cybersecurity level to even comprehend that. Right. So
how do we get to that level, though? I mean, we
still working on the firewall. Go ahead.
This Professor Blackout. This is why it burns me up. It just burns me to see these, you know, like Kevin Mitnick type people just being put on pedestals and shit.
Oh yeah.
Like we aspire to be like that. I mean, that's it. Just
we talked about that though. Is and people thought I was joking though. Is we made hacking cool, and I know that's what triggers you. We make hackers cool, but like I told people thought I was bullshit. We need to go down to Gen Con and Security Con in Vegas. I told the dudes we gonna get a VIP section. And we're going to party and show people nerds can be cool too. Because when you, especially young black dudes, they really don't want to do cyber. They do cyber once they figure out you can make some money at it. Once I figure out I'm short and I can't make it to the NBA, you know, they figure out, well, damn, they actually make more than people studying business. Yeah. Right. Oh, Mark Zuckerberg's worth $27 billion. Right. But it get cool. Because if you ask the average young black guy, they don't want nothing to do with IT, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we slowly changing it, but if you ask the average, my grandson said, "Granddaddy, is cybersecurity cool?" I'm like, didn't we just go eat seafood? He says, yes. I said, Granddaddy paid for that. So, you know. But it's just not, especially in the black community, it's finally starting to turn. But what's cool is hacking. Because Alpha makes it cool. Kenny Conjo, if you think about the most black dudes that I deal with, in cyber, they are penetration dudes. They are red team dudes. I'm the only blue team dudes, and they tease me. Gay. Stigs are old and Stigs aren't sexy. I'm like, dude, Stigs protect DOD and the government and nuclear bombs, man. What are you talking about? So look at most of the black dudes. I mean, you deal with a wider guys because you in Africa and stuff, but the most dudes I know are penetration and red team dudes. You know, hackers are your favorite.
So when I was talking to Dr. Phillips, right, about this too, and he gets the brunt of it, okay, because you know we talk all the time.
Shout out to him. When is his birthday? I'm about to send him a nice bottle of Johnny Walker Blue.
Send him something. Send him something.
What's his favorite drink? I'm about to send him some Johnny Walker Blue or something nice for him.
Yeah,
smooth.
Anything smooth and alcoholic and
man. I'll be feeling y'all. Be like, oh, Phillips getting that all day and all night.
He get all listen. And he is all day because and what I was telling him, right, was, and this is where it comes to us. Like, I feel like us, the way we talk about it perpetuates a lot of the stuff that I can't stand. Okay. Because I was like, how do you know that cybersecurity is working or what does it look like? It's kind of like what I showed y'all the other day when I was talking about when you Google home security and then you Google cybersecurity, you know what I'm saying? It looks like what we're doing right here. You know, I'm able to interact with you. You know, when I go out to eat, my card goes through and everything is working the way it needs to work. It's everyday life. It's just like physical security. People feel free to go check their mailbox because their physical security is such that they're able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Versus you got gangs and out here bombs or whatever going on, you know, so you're afraid and you can't move, you can't do anything. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's how we have to present it, because people otherwise, who can firewall for what? Like what first of all, what are you even talking about? You know,
I agree with that.
Everyday people don't understand what we do because we don't talk about it in a way that they can understand it.
Because I don't think we understand it.
Listen, you just said it. You just said, I didn't want to say it because, you know, I'm already, but that's it. That is it. We don't understand it either.
But too, is like we talk about, and I try to get the young guys. I was like, dude, all that stuff you doing, all that stuff, it rolls up into a risk number and you give it to a manager. They're going to make a management decision on that risk. So you got to look at, and like you talk about, my man, Bruce, I mean, his RMF channel is great, but most people are not ready for that. That's the top of the pyramid when you talk about risk. Most people says, I got to lock down my Linux world. I got to lock down my database world. I got to lock down my firewall world. All that has to work together. If any of that stuff is weak, you toast.
Yeah.
You can have the best firewall rule, but if I go to application and do SQL injection, all that cool Cisco $250,000 worth of Cisco routers you got and $1 million infrastructure. I just did one SQL statement and stole all your data, homie. So you got to look at it as a program in its entirety. And right now, that's too far high on the pyramid for most people to comprehend. I think Bruce does an excellent job at that. I think you said it now with the risk, but most people are not there yet. Most people saying, I need to pass this cert and get my bag.
Yes.
Right. Which I like that as dude, this sounds cool when I say it. It makes me feel special. But in the totalitarian of cyber, if one of those pieces are weak, you toast. So I don't think they're ready to get, because that's the manager level. That's what I try to do on my channel. Let's talk to managers. Let's talk to CIO. I'm talking to vice president, because they talk about risk because they got to sign off on it. And they might tell you, I know there's a risk and I'm cool with that, but this machine's about to get $34 billion in the next 3 months and you can't touch that machine, and I'm willing to take that risk.
Yep. That's
right.
It.
So
they need to be like what you're doing, right? Because they don't get it either. You know, like security is not as valued.
Right.
Like it doesn't have an instrumental value, you know, which it does.
It does, but
it does.
The problem of it, of it is, and I'm just not really getting it, is, and that's why IT dudes struggle, is they think of risk once again as in routers, PC, bits, bytes. But when you talk to management, they think of that as dollars, risks, vulnerabilities. And I talk to lawyers every week now. What's our probability of getting sued? Getting sued by HIPAA because we failed, and if all these people get their stuff stolen, are we going to have a class action lawsuit? Right? So you got to get those two things to communicate. And most people that's just working on the machines, they don't think like that.
Yeah.
Until I got doing NISC and STIGs and RMF and start working for DOD, I just said I'm the application web server admin, and I just got to start some software, patch it, run a vulnerability scan, and we're great. Oh yes, for your itty bitty part in this big puzzle, we're okay, sir. But when we got to turn in an ATO, authority to operate, and that looks at every piece of equipment. Once I saw that report, I go, oh, I got one little bitty piece in this big machine.
Yep.
If any of that machine breaks, which is brittle as hell, we're toast. That's why nation states are killing us. Every time we look, somebody gets ransomware every week. That's why it costs you $5 to get your money out of ATM, because the bank expects to get hacked, and your $5 is going to pay for it. Cyber security insurance, and it's very expensive. Then we pay the ransomware, and that makes them want to get us more because they know we got insurance. Hell, I might go to Iran and start getting some $100 million.
You know what? But you know what, Professor Black Ops, that can change within 24 hours.
Oh, I agree with that.
We can actually change the things that it's not going to take months and years and all this stuff. So in this thing, right, I talk about I forget the dude's name, but they called him I talked about it here, the father of public relations. Remember me talking about that? This dude was if they had a Nobel Prize for manipulation, okay, this dude would have got. First of all, Sigmund Freud was his uncle, so he already had a leg up. Oh, yeah. Okay, here on human behavior, you know. This man created some of the most ingenious things to get people to do what the companies want them to do. He created mission statements. He came up with that to make businesses seem more human. Okay. If we have, we just need to find that sweet spot. Okay. Because that's how people work. Like, that's how humans operate. You know, if we're influenced a certain way, then we're going to go that way. We're just terrible at it, you know, which is why I'm saying we need these kinds of people on our teams. We need people with like marketing mindsets and stuff like that to come up with the cyber awareness training and all. The cyber awareness training is garbage. Most of it is straight up garbage. Okay. I mean, no use whatsoever. Strictly compliance. That's it. Nothing else. Not even looking for anything else.
I'll give it 3 or 2 out of 10. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So we need that kind of talent, you know, and you know, and we really don't have that. So I am determined. I'm telling you, I'm determined. I mean, people when people see the advertisement for these STIGs, okay, they're gonna get wet. I'm telling you. It's gonna be so sexy.
I'm gonna sit there. People are scared of STIGs, dog. I was having a conversation. People are scared of STIGs. I was talking conversation. Keep It Tech was interviewing this guy. He said he did STIGs, and I was in the chat box. People are scared to death of STIGs.
Of what? Was scared of what, the work involved or something? Like what is it?
They're scared of the work involved in it, because I always ask somebody a simple question when they deal whatever their device is. How do you know when it's secure? If you don't have a guideline or a playbook, how do you know when you're secure? If you're not using STIG, CIS, PCI, or HIPAA, are you just randomly cutting shit on? Are you just taking the defaults out the box? How do you know what level of security do you need? And very few people can answer that question. So if they can't answer that question, we're never going to be secure.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good question.
So, because if you got to know what the security checks is, so you can do compliance on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what the switches is, then how do you know your switches are right or wrong? Or
Yeah.
you just feel good about them? I feel good about this setup. I mean, well, so how do you? Then if I give you a checklist and you can't do 4, then I can say, okay, these 4 is for this vulnerability, this attack. I need to have a compensated control because I can't do it on a Cisco. So I need to be able to do it in an application or in a database or on the OS, right? And so like we talked about, it all needs to fit together. If any one of those parts are weak. So if you're doing your stuff in isolation, then what mitigating? If you can't cut some on, how's the next team gonna know what the mitigating control is to cover what you can't even set?
Right.
So that's my 2 cents. Like I said, I gotta stop following you on LinkedIn. I be getting triggered. I'm like, why is she triggering me? Why is she triggering me? I'm like, I wrote that thing like 4 times. I'm like, I don't want to be an asshole.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I'm like, in my old age, I'm like keeping it real could go wrong, David Chappelle. Because you can overstep the people, as a man, people be like, you're bullying somebody or you attacking somebody personally. So I'm like, let me just make something easy. Once again, history just kind of laid that out for me. So I don't know why I was so triggered. But she just wrote it like it was a dissertation about life in IT. And cybersecurity people just randomly showed up.
Yeah.
And we just made criminals. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, come on. The money's the driver. Now we're not even smart enough now to know it's not even about the money. That was just to get people's foot in the door. Now we're talking about nation states, running nation. Like you said, what we talked about them in Facebook, like you said, is that's a mission statement to control people's feelings. How do you want to vote? Who do you want to vote for? Or basically, Russia made a lot of black people sit on their hands because they weren't happy with the Democratic Party because they just started saying stuff like reparations. So 20% of the black dudes voted for Trump or sat out.
Yeah.
That was a sophisticated cyber attack. They had users in there for 10 years because they want to build up their profile to make you assume they were legitimate because they're playing the long game. China has a 200-year nation plan.
Wow.
And we're fighting every 4 years. So they're about that cyber life. That's my favorite line. They're about that life and we playing.
Well, I guess we need to get knocked upside the head hard enough to
oh no, we asleep.
To wake up.
We asleep. The young guys get in the bag and the old guys don't want the guys to come in with certifications, man. We arguing about the raw stuff. The young guys think the old guys are keeping them out being gatekeepers. The old guys like, dude, y'all ain't got degrees. You're not for real. We arguing about nonsensical stuff, man.
Yeah.
The thing is, just let him sit down on the console. That'll tell you everything you need to know. And my thing is, we train everybody how we want to do it anyway. So does it really make a difference? Because when somebody got mad at one of my interviewees, he called him a gatekeeper, blocking the youth from getting cybersecurity jobs.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, could be. That could be.
Yeah. All right.
That's my 2 cents. You got anything else for me? I'm untriggered now. I feel much better since.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad you feel better. Now. No, that's good. Thank you so much for coming up. I really do.
Yeah. So try not to like any more of that for about a month. So let me.
Okay.
Let me. Her and her laissez-faire. I think cybersecurity is. I'm like, come on, lady. But
I think she must be getting. She must be like a LinkedIn person or something.
She was, but there's a lot of people out like. To me, I don't know. What is she? I'll go look at her bio. Is she a CISO?
She's a director of information security. She's a vCISO.
Yeah, she is. She ain't never did any real work. She just straight management. She ain't never got dirty.
Yeah.
She ain't never rolled her sleeve up and got dirty in the digital mud. That's what I like to call it.
Oh, okay.
She ain't got in the digital mud, man. She up there just bossing people around like me. Make it work. She ain't got dirty, man.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I enjoyed the conversation. I hope people about to go to bed. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why that triggered me. I don't know why.
I can see why. I can. The tone and the I can see it.
I think too. That's the last time I said. I think all the love she got for that bullshit, I guess, just set me up. When I went to her page, I think this was on a cartoon. I think we're making this too difficult, people. No money, no cybersecurity security needed. Money, we gonna have to lock it down. And the sad thing about it is we use the systems from the 80s. A lot of technology, right? I'm gonna do one when quantum computer kits, it's gonna kill all the cybersecurity because it can crack every encryption code we got because it can do it at speed.
That's what I see. That's what I've been reading.
So
then what we gonna do? We got to come up with something else.
This one guy I was talking about, he split an atom, and when you split an atom, it vibrates on the same frequency no matter where you're at on the planet. So even if you're at the submarine, you can actually do teletyping, like do. So he's working on splitting an atom in the chip, and once I give that key to you, you can just vibrate it. It doesn't need to go through an electrical pulse. I guess anywhere on the planet, they're on the same frequency. So you won't need technology. So that's what he was working on. He talked a little bit. I go, dude, I can't even comprehend that. You develop that. Let me know when you're done, because I don't know what the hell you just said.
That's awesome.
But so yeah, people working out some cool stuff out there. But I was like, I don't know. We're just so far behind technology wise because the stuff we're using is based on stuff from the 80s. I don't think people realize that. The database stuff, the chips are most of the programming language is just sitting on top of assembler. So there's nothing really groundbreaking with that.
And I also think that the training perpetuates the problem as well. Just like I don't know if you remember or you were in here when I was talking about how, I forget what it's called now, but you know how they had that law in South Africa about how Black people were going to be schooled, what they were going to be taught. You know, I'm getting that kind of tease when it comes to what we are being taught and told, you know, when it comes to this is all you need to know to do your job. That's it. Okay. Well, you don't need to know any more than this to be a SOC analyst or whatever.
Some of that's our fault though, because like that's the catch-22. My degree, old guy said, we're gonna make you a well-rounded student so you can think differently, so you can understand psychology, sociology, assembler, and complex mathematics. A lot of us says that's gatekeepers because we ain't gonna never use that shit in real life to do our job. So now you done started saying, okay, I see you thinking now. So that's I'm just throwing it out. That's some of the debate.
So the thing is though, so I am strongly leaning towards, for example, my boys. I'm about to start homeschooling now. Okay. Because the thing is, like the stuff that they teach in school, like you're not, I mean, you know, you're really not. However, you will be using math, you know, and things that you do. So the way that you package it, so if you package it in, okay, we're going to learn math, but we're going to learn it through financial investing, okay, and talking about real world stuff. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That when it comes to like psychology and all this other, no, you will. There is no way in the world that you're not going to use it when you're working with a whole bunch of people. It just has to be presented in a way that's relevant and real for what you're actually going to be experiencing, you know, as a cyber professional.
Yeah, I guess for me that math though that should be just an additional class of financing the schools.
Yeah,
they need to teach financial literacy. Like I always joke, I'm from the original computer science. I had to take calculus too. I can take the area of a tornado. I promised you, I've been doing this job for 35 years. I never broke out the area of the tornado in my job, but I could do it if necessary. So should I have paid for that? I don't know. So I'm that argument kind of always because you saying you need to be well-rounded. They said you a gatekeeper. You stopping them from getting into the industry.
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. What I'm saying is we need to have our own minds. Don't wait on somebody to say, oh, this is what you need to take. No. If you see a issue, a problem, or whatever, then go do that shit. Go find it. Go do something. Go learn something. You know what I'm saying? Don't just wait on people to be like, and then when the answer, when somebody's asking you something, the answer is, oh, that's how I was trained. Like what the?
Well, that's military though. You got to remember a lot of stuff. A lot of original IT and cybersecurity came out for DARPA.
That's true.
Yeah. NC Worker, jump in. I'm acting like this is my channel. I'm sorry. NC Worker, jump in here, man. We could talk all day. Jump in.
Hey, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for allowing me on your platform. It's very nice to be able to speak with you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. I have to say that I get it as far as the curriculum, but how well-rounded, if for instance, let's say you're going to school for a foreign language, how well-rounded if you're only required to take one math?
No, you said if you're required to take one math?
Right, how well-rounded are you? And depending on what program you're in, depends on what type of math you can take. There's some programs like you can take like a basic math, like like measurements and things like that. Like there's no type of algebra, calculus, or anything like that whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So I never understood why, after a certain point, what was the purpose of the classes anyway? I mean, I get the English. You usually take like a English 1 or 100, or like a English 200, or maybe even a 300. But that's about it as far as with the English. But most programs, though, I mean, like sometimes they only require you to take like one math. And it's like, really? I mean,
to be honest though, from my take on it, and I've been in the industry for 35 years. Unless you go into one of the big tech firms, Google, Facebook, the math you do in IT is going to be basic. I programmed for 25 years. Anything I need mathematical, the business unit tells me how I'm going to do future valuation for, I used to work for an insurance company. They're going to give me all those formulas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I've got an MBA, so I understood the formulas and I probably could do them. But when they gave me the formulas, I already knew them pretty much, so it made it easier for me to program. But you're going to have a domain expert in anything, I think, mathematical-wise, like that. Now, you do a little math as far as the Cisco guys for networking and subnetting. There's a little math in there, but I don't think any of that's calculus. So the question is, if you don't need calculus to get in IT, why are we making people take calculus to get in IT?
But my point exactly is like being a Spanish teacher.
Right.
I mean, if you needed, why do you need to take a math class regardless of the math? I mean, I get it. Maybe if you want to tutor, but I mean, if you're teaching Spanish classes for, let's say, like an elementary school, maybe even a middle school, what was the purpose of that math? I mean,
Well, for me jumping in, I'm gonna be the old people. You probably seen this. I go to a fast food restaurant and the cash register's down. This dude can't give me change on a 20. I'm like, come on, player.
Yeah.
He's looking at his phone. I told him, put down the phone, man. Really? So I think we got to find a balance. So now I'm sounding like the old gatekeepers.
Well, the truth be told, so I have a couple of hats, but my main bread and butter is I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second.
I'm sounding old, cybersecurity. I sound like the gatekeeper, man. My man can give me change on a 20.
You're right about that, though. Yeah.
So I mean, come on, player. You got to be able to change me a 20, man. Come on. We got to do a little better than that, man. So we got to figure out, I guess, what the minimum bar we're willing to set. And two, as a culture, what's the minimum bar? Go ahead, NC Worker. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. But I do agree. I do agree because I work in retail, and sometimes, occasionally, our POS system may go down or registers may go down. So, you know, you have to start doing some calculation. Okay, 25% of this, how much would this be? Or whatever the case may be. State tax, how much would that, plus food tax percentage as well. So I get that. The thing is, a lot of times, I think there needs to be a balance, but it's a certain type of balance that it needs to be. There needs to be a better rounded balance with it, as far as with programs and curriculum, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of what we're talking about. I was telling the guys is there's a lot of guys on this channel with curriculums. Keep It Techie got one. Everybody's got a curriculum. I'm like, or a class. I was like, when you put all your classes together, that's a curriculum. You can start your own school. Alpha Cyber said they never thought about that. So if we do that, what is the bar you willing to accept for that? And how do you make it valuable for people to use that and really get into IT or whatever they want to get into, or help desk and get, you know, start working in the industry? What does that look like?
Yeah, I have ideas about that too, of course.
Yeah, that's your area. You're an excellent trainer and communicator. Miss Soft Skills, I'll stay away from that soft skill. That ain't what I do, man. I stay in my lane. I stay in my lane. But that, you know. But I mean, we could chop that up forever. So that's my 2 cents.
We could. And we will. I am going to come on here and do a thing about creating IT and cybersecurity curricula.
I told Keep It Techie to get you on a panel. He's going to do a panel.
Awesome.
I told him to get you on a panel because we need the soft skill balance and shit.
Right.
Because, you know, I'll be on there talking crazy.
I think that's not the better. I think sometimes a lot of tech people, in quote, kind of always get the bad reputation of not having soft skills.
Facts.
Which, you know, because the job a lot of times is so technical, do I dare say? It's technical that it almost makes you mechanical or robotic. That especially the job, depending on what you're doing. You know, if you're doing, let's say you're a C++ programmer, you know, every day, you know, you're going through the program, you're typing in directly what you want the program to do, step by step by step. And so, you know, it doesn't allow you to have that interpersonal connection to people.
Most people don't want those skills, though. I work with guys that don't like talking to people. They don't want to talk to people. Half the time, they're condescending to people. That's why business analysts and the whole PMP project management was created, because the tech guys couldn't talk to the business. So those guys make $100,000 because those dudes can't communicate.
Yeah.
Go ahead, NC Worker.
Right. Speaking of that, because a lot of times, a lot of what project managers are doing, they're basically overseeing the project depending on what the project is. And on top of that, what they're doing is, you know, they're calculating, you know, maybe the earned value and things of that nature. But overall, though, their main bread and butter is to talk to the stakeholders, communicate with them, communicate with other people at the corporate level, and also communicate with anybody else that the third party or the consumer that company may be. Basically, the project manager is almost like the middleman, so to speak, of that company, as well as the other company, the client is, and the project is the bridge, and they're just managing the project. So that's pretty much it. But to go back to what you were saying, that's very true, and that's part of the reason why they get paid that amount, because they understand, they recognize the balance in being somebody who's professional and who's also be able to still do the technological stuff too, and be able to explain it too as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but half the time I don't even know what the technology is. I was teasing our PMP. You come and ask me what I do. You put it on a Gantt chart, tell the customer we're gonna do it. Then you come back to me and tell me what I just told you. Then you tell me to hurry up. You got to be crazy.
Well, see, yeah, that's because that's truly sounds like a stakeholder type deal, or somebody or one of the clients who's like, they want this deal to be done for whatever reason why, and so at that time frame, and so, you know, to your credit, yeah, that's very true. A lot of times, you know, that's why they need that balance. That's why their soft skills have to come into play, as to say, you know, hey, look, so and so, I know that we projected this project to be done such and such a time, but hey, is there any way that we can, if we did this such and such this time frame, I looked at this, I incorporate, let's say, some Lean Six Sigma, and I saw that this time frame that we use this time over here, it cuts out this much time over there, and we can be able to get the project done within 2 weeks shorter as opposed to it being 2 weeks over. So,
right.
you know, that
I ain't never seen it shorter, man. I'm just gonna throw that out. I ain't never seen it
look,
shorter.
and the world, quote unquote world PMP. I'm just saying, you know.
That's what they tell you in class. I ain't never seen it short. But I'm cool. I'm out, everybody. My old ass going to bed. I'm tired.
Thanks, Professor Black Ops. I appreciate you.
Nice meeting you, NC worker. I'm sure we're gonna chop it up again.
Almost definitely.
All right. Have a good night. Yeah, you're right, NC worker. It's like, and the thing is that everybody actually does have soft skills. Like let's just start there. Everybody has them. Now, like where are they though on that continuum? Are they just terrible? I mean, are they just, or are you able to use them to, to help move forward your agenda and other people's agenda? Or are they just sitting on the wayside, just not being, you're just not taking advantage of how they can actually enable you, to get further along in your career or whatever it is you're trying to do. It's like waste, just like you got money in the bank that you're just not using,
Right. I think sometimes in tech, they're so knowledgeable of tech that they consume themselves with tech, and they don't ever think about what's on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And
it's literally in the bank. Yeah, they just sitting there.
And so it's kind of like it's like the person who has so much money that they don't know what to do with it. So they just let, like you say, just let it stay there because they don't know what else to do with it. They don't know what they want to start another. They should start another LLC, another business, another charity event. They just don't know.
Yep, absolutely. Show is.
So,
all right.
I'm going to step back down at the top of the classroom. I'm going to sit back down.
I'm so glad you came up here. Is this your first time coming up here? I think it is.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you again for allowing me up here.
And
I sent you an invite on my LinkedIn. So it's my actual name. So it's not going to be NC Worker. If you need me to put it in the chat, I can. The private chat, I will.
What is it? Is it Darnell?
Yep.
Oh, that's you.
Yep.
Listen, I'm glad you told me because I sure would have ignored it.
Right.
I'm glad let me accept it right now. I don't accept everybody who asks me for, I'm like, if it looks suspicious, I'm like, you good, I'm good.
And eventually I'm going to get my face up there. I've just been busy and
I got
I'm
you.
I'm also a night auditor too as well at night. So
all right, I got you.
So yeah. But
if Evo don't come through, tell me who he is. I'm gonna ignore him too. But yeah, no, you're good. Thank you again, NC Work. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Keep going the great way that you're doing. I always enjoy what you put out because it always gives me a different mindset especially of cybersecurity. A lot of times, just to be short, a lot of times people just think cybersecurity is just somebody just locked away in this dungeon-like place, just with a whole bunch of cords and just looking over stuff, just make sure no one's doing anything wrong or knowing all these different types of codes to put in to crack or whatever, and it's a whole different ecosystem than what people really think it is.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
All right. Thank you again. Thank you too. All right. So before I get out of here, I told y'all that the next time I'm going to, I just told Professor Black Ops anyway. I'm going to talk about curriculum development, and I'm going to talk about it in a way you've never heard. Now, I say that a lot when I come on here and say stuff. I'm about to tell y'all something that you haven't heard before in this way. And I'm sure that 100% of the time I'm correct. Okay. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to give you a little nugget. I'm going to give you a little nugget here. Okay. when I do the stuff that I do, okay, as far as curriculum development, and I'm gonna show you the form I use, like and the way I put that to. That's not the way I got it. Okay, I was instructed on how to do this, but after doing my own research and knowing what I know, okay, and using the insight that I have, I changed it, okay, so that now it's more, it's more useful. One of my favorite quotes is from a statistician, George Box. He said, he said, what the hell did he say? It's not about being right or wrong, right? No, he said all models are wrong, all of them. All models are wrong, but some are useful, okay? And that's the way that I take it. It's not about, this is that. The question is the model of a flat earth, is that useful? Forget about it being right or wrong, whatever. Is it useful? Okay, to some people it is. You know what I'm saying? So the model that I've created for this, typically we hear about training objectives. I know y'all have heard of that before, okay? You find out what are the training objectives, what skills you want the people to develop, now what do you have to do and say and have them practice in order for them to meet these objectives? How do you prove that they've met this? You give them pre-post, tests, test 3, 6 months, all that stuff. Y'all know about all that, okay? I don't do training objectives, okay? Because what we're actually trying to do with training, okay? And just think of your cybersecurity awareness stuff, training, and think of your certification training, okay? Any kind of training or education that you've taken. What you're trying to do is influence behavior, okay? Before you took Security Plus, all right, there were certain things that you did that you knew that whatever. After you took it, okay, and then you practice some stuff. Now when it comes to certain things, your behavior is different because it's been influenced by what this training has taught you, plus whatever the goal is you're trying to get to, okay? And this training and this changed behavior is the middleman between where you were before and this goal that you're trying to get to, okay? So now it's this behavior and the things that you're doing, they're going to help you get there, whatever the hell that is, all right? So that's typically what it is. But the way we can do it faster, okay, and more effectively is if you don't write training objectives. Don't do that. What you write is belief statements. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about the next time I come on. Because listen at this. Your behavior, the things you do, whatever it is, it don't matter. From waking up, checking your phone, brushing your teeth, using the bathroom, cooking breakfast, not cooking breakfast, arguing with people, whatever, okay? Whatever you do, behind that, the thing that is leading you to that behavior is some kind of belief that you have about it, okay? If for example, if you believe that not eating meat, if you believe that being a vegan, okay, makes you a better person in this world, okay, elevates you above, and your goal is to be that, right? To be a better person, to be elevated above all these other meat eaters and, people killing animals or whatever. That belief is going to lead you to do all kinds of stuff, not just the way you eat, okay? The people you hang out with, the kind of stuff you post on Facebook, where you spend most of your time, what you spend your money on, okay? The groups that you're a part of. Just from that thing right there, okay? That influences all kinds of behavior, not just what you eat, okay? That's the same thing I'm talking about here. When I did the Cyber's Future for the middle school students, okay? Finding out, well, what do you believe about this now? Because what they believe, I can tell you what you believe just by looking at your behavior right now, okay? You can tell what people, now, what they say they believe and what they actually believe, their behavior will tell you that, okay? This is exactly what we want to do for training. That's what we want to do. We want to train so that the belief is that security is this, okay? Whatever. We want to train so that now these people, now how do you do that? How do you train to have somebody believe something different than they did before, okay? Because if you get that, and this, I talk about this with that security awareness stuff, okay? If I'm just doing security awareness or whatever you tell me to do because you told me to do it, okay, I'm gonna do it until you leave. I mean, federal employees are experts at that, okay? When a new person comes in, what you say, hamburger, cheeseburger, who is this? when a new person comes in to an organization, you just wait, we wait them out. Okay, he's changing this, the reorganizing that, okay, now we're going to do it this way. We just wait them out and go back to what the hell we were doing once they leave. You know, that's not what we're trying to do here. If you're trying to actually be a cybersecurity professional, you know, it's not just about, you know, what somebody told you to do. Do you know what I'm saying? What do you actually believe about security, cybersecurity person? Like, what do you actually believe about that? You know, and like Professor Black Ops was saying a little while ago, right? Some of us don't even understand what security is. And isn't that sad? Okay. Imagine a firefighter. They're in the community. Don't really get what is fire? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what is that about? How the hell are you gonna do your job? It sounds weird, but it's like the same kind of thing. So I'm going to show y'all what I did. I'm going to show you the belief statements for each section. I'm going to show you what the content is, what the activities are, and how these things are going to help to influence what a person believes about a particular topic and how that topic is applies to them. Okay. Okay, I don't know who you are. You're saying some weird shit, so I'm gonna have to kick your ass up out of here. Anyway, so that's I'm gonna show y'all that the next time I do, and I'm looking forward to it too. Okay. All right, thank y'all so much for being here. How long have we been on? We've been on for a minute, right? I really appreciate y'all. For those of y'all who are going to pawn the replay, if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. You know, we talk about awesome things over here. Okay, so and y'all prepare for this next, you know, when I come on next to show y'all these belief statements and how we can just, whatever we're trying to do, don't drag your feet and we got 5 objects. No, forget all that. Okay, let's get to the root of the matter. Okay, so we can just get there faster. Okay. All right. Y'all have an amazing night. Okay. I appreciate all of you. And I will see you back here next time.